So, let me ask you something. What could a gruesome murder, a rocket launch to the moon, and a championship tennis match possibly have in common? I know, they seem totally unrelated, but they are all connected by one of the most powerful forces in our lives, belief. And today, we're going to dive deep into that.
The answer, as you probably guessed, is belief. And as we're about to see, belief can be this incredible source of strength, or it can be a justification for the absolute worst things imaginable. It really all depends on which side of a very, very fine line you're standing on.
Let's start with a story that shows you just how high the stakes are when someone crosses that line. Okay, picture this. On a quiet night in Meerut, a man named Saurabh Rajput was drugged and then brutally murdered by his wife, Muskan, and her lover. And while his body was decomposing in a drum filled with cement, the two of them were posting smiling vacation photos online. The investigation revealed this chilling motive that was all tangled up in black magic, with claims of occult rituals and manipulation through faked supernatural messages. A belief system had become their license to kill.
And listen, this isn't some bizarre one-off event. This number you're looking at right now, 2,500, that's the estimated number of people, mostly women, who were murdered in India between 2000 and 2016, all because they were accused of being witches. 2,500 lives, just erased by superstition.
And you see this terrifying pattern everywhere. Whether it's the horrific case of human sacrifice in a highly literate state like Kerala, or the Burari mass suicide that just shook the entire nation, it's disturbingly clear these tragedies are all fueled by the same thing: blind faith. The kind of belief that's so absolute it completely replaces reality, reason, and even our most basic instinct to survive.
But here's where the story takes a really fascinating and honestly a completely unexpected turn. Because if you think this is all just an issue for rural areas or, uneducated people, well, the data tells a very, very different story.
So a survey was done on employees at 800 big companies in major Indian cities, and it found that 61% of these educated urban professionals believe in superstitions. Things like lucky charms or avoiding black cats. But here's the kicker. Almost half of them said these beliefs actually make them more productive at work.
It gets even weirder. A survey of over 1,000 scientists from India's top institutes revealed some absolutely shocking numbers. A quarter of them believe godmen with special powers exist, and a staggering 70% felt astrology should be taught in universities. These are supposed to be the most rational, evidence-based minds in the country. What is going on here?
And this quote just perfectly illustrates the whole paradox. Right here you have the chairman of ISRO, S. Somanath, a man who literally sends rockets to the moon, openly talking about his spiritual quest. We see it with top athletes like Virat Kohli, tech visionaries like Steve Jobs. So this brings us to the big question of this explainer. Why do some of the smartest, most successful people in the world embrace what seems like totally irrational behavior?
To solve this paradox, we don't need to look up at the stars. We need to look inside our own brains. Because science, it turns out, has a really compelling explanation for why we believe in the first place.
It all boils down to this one simple concept: high uncertainty situations. Think about it. A rocket launch, a championship final, a huge job interview that could change your life. These are all high stakes, high stress moments where you've done all the work you can, but the final outcome is still out of your hands. And that uncertainty, it triggers our brain's deep-seated fear and anxiety systems.
See, our brain has kind of two gears for dealing with the world. Slow thinking is our logical, analytical side. But in a crisis, our fast-thinking survival brain just takes over. Its job isn't to be accurate, its job is to be fast. It's a pattern recognition machine. A rustle in the grass? Just assume it's a tiger. It's better to be wrong 100 times than to be dinner once, right? Superstition is basically a byproduct of this system. It's our brain finding patterns and creating rituals to feel a sense of control, even when there isn't any. And this is exactly what we see in sports all the time. These aren't just funny quirks. They are rituals designed to manage the crushing anxiety of a high uncertainty situation. From Serena's unwashed socks, yeah, you heard that right, to Nadal's perfectly aligned water bottles, these actions give the brain a familiar pattern to latch onto. It reduces stress and lets the athlete actually focus on the game.
So now we can finally see it. This is the dividing line. This is the key that unlocks the whole paradox between the scientists launching rockets and the killers committing murder.
And here it is, the dividing line. Successful people use belief as a psychological tool. The ISRO scientist still does all the math.
Rafael Nadal still practices for thousands and thousands of hours. Their rituals help manage anxiety, they boost confidence, but they complement the hard work. They don't replace it. Blind faith is the exact opposite. It's when your belief replaces reality. When you expect a ritual to help you pass an exam you didn't even study for, or when you go to a faith healer instead of a doctor.
And that replacement can be deadly. This number represents the percentage of people in India who, when faced with a mental illness, first go seek help from faith healers or tantrics instead of medical professionals. They're replacing evidence-based care with magical thinking, and often the consequences are tragic.
You know, there's a really powerful lesson about this that comes from a place you might not expect. In the Ramayana, when his brother Lakshmana is gravely wounded, Lord Rama doesn't perform a miracle. What does he do? He sends for a Vaidya, a doctor. The story itself shows that even in a world of gods, you turn to the expert who has the right skills and the right knowledge for the job.
So, where does that leave all of us? How do we navigate this incredibly complex landscape in our own lives? How do we harness the power of belief without falling into its trap?
For a lot of people, and I'll include myself in this, the faith you grow up with gives you this powerful sense of comfort. Chanting a prayer can really ease your anxiety, but as you grow, that sense of security can evolve. It can start to come from a deeper scientific understanding, where instead of just trying to soothe your fear, you learn to understand what's causing it and then take real effective action.
And look, this isn't about having to abandon faith for science. The goal is to integrate them. The scientists at ISRO show us this is possible. You can use belief as a pillar, as a source of emotional strength and community, while still relying on evidence, reason, and good old-fashioned hard work to navigate the world.
Ultimately, that's the question we all have to ask ourselves. In your life, is your belief system a pillar that supports you when you're facing uncertainty, or is it a prison that limits your view of reality? The answer to that, well, it defines everything. Thanks for watching.